Next up, at UFC 304, we have Caolan Loughran taking on Jake Hadley. This is the newest addition on this card, or the second newest. I don't know which came first, this one or the Alice Ardeline fight, but this is a brand new
Chicken
match.
or the egg?
Caolan Loughran lost his original opponent, Jake Hadley, stepping up not only on short notice, but also moving up in weight. But the good news is he gets to fight at home. Caolan Loughran, 9-1 in his career, 4-1 in his last 5. He's coming off his first UFC win. He's taking on Jake Hadley. 10-3, Jake Hadley. 2-3 in his last 5. He's coming off that decision loss to Charles Johnson. Caolan Loughran's a powerful guy. He's got that big, wide base. He likes to use that to send kicks. He wants to generate some power. He's got power in those hands. He does tend to throw everything as hard as he can. He's got some solid takedown defense. He's got some nice takedowns offensively as well. He's a busy striker, good footwork. He's going to move forward. He can be hittable, though. That defense isn't always there, and that's because of that wide stance. If he is getting touched up, he'll go to the wrestling. He'll go to the cage control. He hasn't...
You know who he reminds me of? I just thought about it.
Who?
Like his fight style and everything. No, this is serious. Tell me if you agree. The way he's like, that wide stance and the way he's like kind of tight in there, it's like Michael Chandler.
Kind of. Yeah, just looking. That is true. Michael Chandler just looks to like leap into that huge.
Yeah,
right
he's
hand.
a little. Michael Chandler's a little bit more bouncy, but that same like stance, that wide stance, like just ready to hit you with fucking anything.
He is, but he also can be a little boring at times with the cage control and the takedowns. He's coming off that decision win over Angel Pacheco. He's taking on Jake Hadley. I mentioned Jake stepping up on short notice. Jake is a striker. He's got slick BJJ. He's got solid boxing, good timing on his feet, then decent takedowns, aggressive BJJ on the ground. Hadley is a very good fighter. He's got a couple of wins and titles in regional promotions. He can strike. He can grapple. He can stick a good pace for 15 minutes. He is coming off that loss, however, to Charles Johnson, where he looked good when he was moving forward.
Oh.
What?
He got smoked.
No, he looked good in that fight.
He got smoked.
But Charles was able to squeak one out. Jake Hadley is stepping up on short notice, as I mentioned. He's also moving up in weight, as I mentioned. He's not a very big guy at all. I'm sure he's excited to be fighting on a pay-per-view in England, but this is a tricky fight. I think Jake is actually the better fighter, but I think he's going to be too small, too short notice. I think Caolan's going to win this fight. I think he's going to be big enough. I think he's going to move forward. I don't know if he's going to knock Jake out, but I think he's certainly going to make him hurt a little bit, get him hesitant. And as we saw in Caolan's UFC debut, he has no problem being boring. He literally doesn't care. He will do what he needs to do to win, and I'm totally fine with that. I want him to win this fight. I think he does win this fight. Caolan is going to be the pick. You could do a plus 3.5 on Jake if you think it'll be a 29-28, but Caolan is going to be the pick. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Why would I want to do dishes?
I want you to want to do dishes.
Why would I want to do dishes? What a great movie, huh? Oh, did you want to tell your little story about that movie?
I don't have a story about that movie.
About how NCAA, because he's playing the video game or whatever, how because NCAA's out.
That
or
video
whatever.
clip.
Yeah. I live in the real world. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, we talk about the movie The Breakup, and then when he's playing the kid Madden on the whatever, it's like that's the NCAA guys these days playing these little kids on NCAA. I live in the real world. I don't have time to sit here and play all day like you, just smoking little kids. Anyway, listen. This fight is a kind of a tough one for me because I can't stand the way that Caolan fights. I mean, he just gets hit way too much. He's way too stiff in there. He is kind of a brute, right? He will eat all those shots, but when he runs up against the wrong person, it's just not going to work. It's worked up to this point, and I agree with Angela. I think Jake Hadley is just going to be too small, going to try to rely on his jiu-jitsu a little bit too much, and where against the smaller guys, you can use it, you can sweep, get back to your feet, but against these stronger wrestlers, they're going to keep you where they want you, especially up in weight. I actually disagree a little bit because I think a lot of people are kind of saying that Jake Hadley is just kind of like a wild sub or bust, like a Hail Mary sub on the ground, and that's the only way he can win. I think being the smaller guy, he's a decent striker. He's got good speed with his hands. I think he can stick and move. If he just pumps that jab out and Caolan will be there to eat that jab, let's get some damage on this guy, stick and move, and kind of just point fight. I think Jake Hadley could sneak this out on the feet as well, but I think Caolan's just going to bring in the pace, the pressure, get to the wrestling, get to that top control. Cop control. I forgot, Angela's a, what?
I'm not a cop.
I didn't say anything about anything. You dropped your badge.
I'm supposed to look, and then he's like, "What's supposed to happen?"
You're wearing you're literally wearing your badge. You're a narc.
Okay, can we move on? I'm not a cop.
That's from 22 Drum Street. When he's trying to buy the drugs, he's like, "Dude, you literally still have your badge on." He goes, he's like, "Dude, you're a fucking narc, dude." But I'm going Caolan here. I think he does kind of maul Jake Hadley, but I played Caolan, but not in a different way. I don't want to play him. I don't want to pay minus 200 for this guy. I don't think he's that good. So I played him in a different way. And you can go to WeWantPicks.com and sign up if you want to see that play.
There you go. We don't have DraftKings pricing yet because it is the newest addition to this card. You can get some better odds if you want to go over to BetOpenly. That's peer-to-peer betting, not a sports book. So you get a little bit of a discount there. But both of us picked Caolan Loughran. I think I'm a little more confident in him than Jakey Boy is. And if you do want to check out all the bets, I also have some bets going on this card. You can do so now. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. It's only $10 for an entire month. And we just added a brand new tool that not only includes graphs, charts, interactive data, but also a full fight catalog, a tape study, if you will, a tape index. Everything you want or need heading into a fight week. $10 super chat. Din Daddy.
Oh, let me handle this. There's some words you don't know. Thank you for the astute analysis, especially Angelo's early breakdowns. I've gotten plus money on favorites from that. I finished up 6 units last week and number 1 on Tapology with your help. That's Dean Daddy with the $9.99, and we appreciate all the donations we received tonight. I wonder at the end of the night who's going to be that top dono.
Thank you for the 10 spot. Last week I was on a whole bunch of underdogs and they did well. I got that Trey Ogden. I got Luana Carolina nice and early. I'm not usually the underdog guy, but for some reason I went crazy with them last week.